Well, everyone, the iPhone 16e is one of those phones that's been out for a little bit of time now, just for a couple of months, and I wanted to go ahead and compare it against my Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. The thing with the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE is that this is, without a doubt, one of those types of devices that is probably going to be one of the biggest competitors against the iPhone 16e. And this is something that's very surprising to me, because if I'm going to go through and pick up something like an iPhone 16e, I'm kind of looking at that phone and I'm actually kind of surprised with that type of device, because I do feel like in some ways this type of device could be a little bit of a better experience. Meaning both these could be learning from each other, and both of them could be giving us a little bit of a better experience here and there, and we'll talk about that in a second. But if at any point you want to buy either one of these types of devices, either the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE or the iPhone 16e, these links will be down in the description below. You can go and get them from there, and you can go and help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, the biggest thing I can definitely tell you, in my personal opinion, is that if you're going to go through and look at these phones, you have to look at them from the outside first. The Samsung Galaxy S24 FE, which came out a little bit late last year, on the front side of this phone is going to be giving you a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED display. Now, this phone's panel looks very decent. Like, this is one of those types of panels that I look at and I'm very, very happy with the way this type of panel looks, because it generally does not look that bad. These types of panels look very decent. You're going to be getting, a 1900 nits of brightness inside of that type of phone, which is amazing. And you're going to be getting, a really good display. It's 120 hertz too. That is another very big thing to keep in mind here as well. Because if you're going to pick up any phone, it's very, very important that you're able to go through and pick up one of these types of devices that's really not going to be the most expensive thing of all time. And I do feel like that's going to be something that's very, very kind of a big thing to keep in mind there from that side. So in my personal opinion, the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE's panel looks very good. And I do think, like I said before, that is kind of one of the biggest takeaways if you're going to go through and pick up one of these types of the iPhone 16e, on the other hand, is going to be one of those phones, so it's going to cost you about $600. So this type of device is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be anything super insane, but the advantage of the iPhone 16e is that it's a little bit smaller. So it's a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So this type of panel, it's a little bit smaller, which some people might prefer, but it's also still giving you like a pretty good display for the most part too, which I think is something that's really, really nice there as well. Now, on top of that, this type of phone, I will tell you, if you're going to go through and pick up these types of devices, they're both going to be very good, but the iPhone 16e is giving you a notch and is basically going to be giving you this 60 hertz display, which really isn't like the best thing ever. And if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, that could be kind of a disadvantage if you're going to go through and pick up a device like that. So in my personal opinion, I do think that is kind of one of the biggest takeaways here. If you're going to go through and pick up a phone, you're going to have to kind of think about that as you're going through and using this type of device. Now, on top of that, when it comes down to the bottom side of both these phones, they're both going to be giving you USB Type-C, which is amazing. They're both going to be giving you these glass backs, but the iPhone 16e is going to be giving you a frosted glass back, where the Galaxy S24 FE is giving you a standard glass back. So that right there is also going to be another very big thing to keep in mind here too. Because if you're going to go through and pick up a device, it is going to be a very, very big takeaway of being able to go through and pick up these types of phones. And, the Galaxy S24 FE giving you a standard glass back that might not be as premium as a feature as the iPhone 16e's frosted glass back. So kind of keep that in mind. Again, not the biggest deal in the world, but that will be one of those things you're going to be kind of keeping in mind there too. On top of that, the Galaxy S24 FE is giving you reverse wireless charging, which is a really, really nice feature to have. The iPhone 16e is going to be giving you just standard wireless charging. So like I said before, this in and of itself is going to be another one of those big takeaways here too. Like if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, that might be one of those things you're going to have to keep in mind there with this type of device too. On top of that, when it comes down to the price tag, the Galaxy S24 FE costs about $390. The iPhone 16e costs about $600 brand new. So again, brand new, they're going to be a little bit closer in price, but from this used perspective, there is an advantage for the 16e because it is going to be a little bit more expensive. It's going to be brand new, but the S24 FE has an advantage for being the cheaper one here. So kind of keep that in mind as well. Now, on top of that, another very important thing to keep in mind here too is that with the iPhone 16e, this camera, it's a single camera setup on the backside. The Galaxy S24 FE is giving you a triple camera setup. So this right there is also going to be another very big takeaway, because if you're wanting the phone that's going to be giving you a better experience here, the Galaxy S24 FE is probably going to be the one that might give you a better experience on paper. Having that additional ultra-wide and telephoto lens is really nice to have. And you're also getting 8K capability on the backside of that phone too. That is a very, very good type of layout. And this, in my personal opinion, is going to be one of those really, really big things to keep in mind. Because if you're wanting the phone that's going to be giving you a better experience, the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE is definitely going to be the one, and that's going to be giving you a far better experience here from what I can tell, in my personal opinion, than the iPhone 16e. So once again, kind of keep that in mind. If you're going to go through and pick up a phone, that is without a doubt one of the most important things to keep in mind there, in my personal opinion. When it comes down to their battery life and software longevity, starting off with software longevity, the software on both these phones, they're going to be supported for many, many years to come. So it's not like either one of these phones are going to be outdated today or tomorrow. They're going to be supported with software for many, many years now. So that is an advantage there. You're not really going to feel like either one of these phones are going to be like super outdated or super bad or anything like that. And I will tell you from that side too, that is a really big advantage. That's why I love my Galaxy S24 FE, because they hold up so well from that particular side. The 16e is also going to be one of those phones that's going to be supported with software for a long period of time as well. So that right there is also another very big takeaway too, because you're going to be able to go ahead and buy that phone and be able to pick up a device that's going to be supported with software for a long period of time as well. The battery life, I would probably say the S24 FE might end up winning here. It's a bigger size battery, but also Android's typically just kind of lasts longer some ways. But the iPhone 16e is also optimized very well, so that could also be another big advantage for that type of device when it comes down to it as well. So I do think from that side too, that's another really, really big takeaway as well. And finally, when it comes down to the performance, the Galaxy S24 FE's chipset inside is that Exynos 2400E chipset with 8 gigs of RAM, where the iPhone 16e is going to be giving you that Apple A18 chipset inside with 8 gigs of RAM inside. So that right there is also going to be another really big takeaway. Like being able to go through and pick up a phone on the iPhone 16e that's going to be giving you that type of chipset, that type of performance with Apple Intelligence, that's a really, really big thing to keep in mind. And I love being able to go through and buy a phone that's going to be giving me that type of experience and that type of capability. And I will tell you from that side too, that is a really big takeaway there. So keep that in mind if you're going to go through and pick up a phone. That is a very important thing to keep in mind there for the most part, without a doubt. So in my personal opinion, I will definitely tell you there are pros and cons with both these devices. I think an iPhone 16e gives you a really good experience. It gives you a really good chipset. It gives you really good everything across the board, right? But the Galaxy S24 FE is basically giving you a phone that's going to be giving you a higher refresh rate, so 120 Hz, and it's going to be a brighter display as well. So I will probably tell you that's another really big thing to keep in mind there too, because if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, you might want one that has more features. The S24 FE is giving you reverse wireless charging, 8K capability with that camera, a brighter panel, and a higher refresh rate as well. Those are some really big things to kind of keep in mind there from that side as well. So in my personal opinion, if I'm going to pick up one, I do feel like the S24 FE is giving you more performance, better chipset, better everything. But the iPhone 16e is one of those phones that's probably that might be the better one in some ways too. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.